Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I actually think this amendment should be supported. I was trying to figure out how to do a similar related amendment because what I was trying to do was make sure that even if a teacher had been found in violation of Section 9, that they wouldn't personally have to pay a cost or and they wouldn't be liable for any kind of punishment. And I wasn't able to successfully convince Parliamentary Council that there was a way to do that, but this was the alternative, was to make sure that, and I think actually the member's done the honourable thing, is to make sure that the school doesn't end up having to pay the costs here, that it's not pulled away from educational dollars towards students. And I think ultimately that's what we're trying to do here, is give the students in the education system the best possible experience and make sure that the money is spent on them and not on others. And it's the problem with punishment and liability and responsibility clauses in legislation. I think often we seem to make two mistakes. One is that we, in trying to reinforce that this is a serious matter, we put the amounts too high, and when these get to be adjudicated in front of a court, the judges look at the cost and or the punishment, and if it's very high, and for example, in a monetary fine, they go, well, that's an awful lot of money, so the test is going to be very high to make sure that somebody has broken this law in a vigorous enough way that we're going to charge them the absolute top dollar. And what happens is that I found in a lot of cases it's never charged because the test is too high and people don't meet it. And we have to be clear on what we're trying to do with this legislation. And from our point of view, it's to try and minimize whatever damage we think is being done specific to Section number 9. And that is, there is a chill that's being put on teachers about their ability to raise and react and teach the various prohibited sections. But the cost to it appears to be coming forward on the school board. I mean, who will pay the costs if a teacher, if we have the situation that's described, the secretary or the school administrator's not there on the day that these notices are supposed to go out, and the school and the teacher's now in violation. They're brought up before the Human Rights Commission. There's definitely costs involved there. Who's liable for it? And do we really want it to be have the dollars pulled away from the kids in the classroom? And I would argue, no, that's not what we're trying to do. So I'm more than happy to support the member's amendment, and I urge the rest of my colleagues to do the same.
Cindy was speaking for a while.
Absolutely, and it's the way I'm responding to the way the President of the Treasury Board talked about sub-amendment A3. Thank you so much for the opportunity. No, what I find is interesting is why the members in this Assembly are more than willing to accept legal costs to be covered for our activities through the Risk Management Fund, but when you point out a similar situation for another sector, this legislation is creating the risk for other people, actually, but there the similarities end, and that while the members opposite can understand and accept and value the Risk Management Fund covering their decisions and any liabilities they may create in doing their job, yet they don't seem to understand that when it transfers to a different sector, like the teachers or the principal or the school boards, but specifically the teachers, which is what this particular amendment was on. So I just find it really curious that there's a clear grasp and understanding when it comes to protecting their liabilities with the Risk Management Fund, but not to understanding how those liabilities can be created, or indeed what they will be covered from for another sector, in this case the teachers.